excited for today's event? Woo! We can do better than that. How are we feeling today? We can do a little bit better. Come on, guys. We can get better than that. How are we feeling today? Woo! There we are. Aside from being a guitar counselor at MI for 40 years, Allan Hinds has toured extensively internationally with many artists, including Bobby Caldwell, Gino, Vannelli, Randy Crawford, Stevie Wonder, Mary J. Blige, and so many others. In addition to touring and conducting workshops and clinics worldwide with his own 6 CDs, the latest being The Good Fight and several instructional books, Allan is still performing regularly at the Baked Potato and on international tours. On drums, we have Donald Barrett, who has not only been the regular drummer for Lady Gaga, but also has performed with artists like Seal, Sade, and others. Next, we have Matt Rohde on keys, who arranges for the TV show The Voice, as well as having extensive touring himself with many known rock bands, including Alanis, Morissette, and Jane's Addiction. MI alum and bass extraordinaire Travis Carlton, who plays with the Steve Gadd Band and is also an in-demand session player, joins us today. And last, but certainly not least, Maxayne Lewis, whose discography is too long to read, but has worked with everybody from Duran Duran to Michael Jackson and Tina Turner. She's one of the top singers in Los Angeles. Please give a warm welcome to the Allan Hinds Group.
Because there's like 7 people here.
Happier than the morning sun, and that's the way you said it would be. If I should ever bring you inside my life, oh, I'm happier than the morning sun. That's the way you said it would be. If I should ever bring you inside my love, every day I was alone, I didn't think I'd find my part. Now I know there is love inside your heart, and every night I'd search the sky for a star to be in my life. Now I know that the star is on the earth, and I'm happier than the morning sun. inside my love. Boom, 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 and I'm happier than the morning sun. Yeah, that's the way you said it would be. If I should ever bring you inside my love.
She'll be back.
The big debut, right?
Yowza. Matt Rohde on the keyboards. We're doing some stuff for the first time tonight. Welcome Matt Rohde and Travis Carlton and Donald Barrett, you guys. And you guys think of some good questions, because it's always the kind of thing during these clinics where nobody asks any questions, and then I'm walking out the door and I got 10 questions people are asking me. So don't be shy, but think of something good for Maxayne and for all of us, because you kind of know the history in the little read-up that Carol Ann did. So ask away at the appropriate time, not now. We're going to try a new song called The Good Fight. First time. This one's going to feature Matt, incredible Matt Rohde on the keyboards. Thank you, guys. We're getting warmed up. You guys having fun? Yeah. Oh no. The band goes. Once again, Matt Rohde and Travis Carlton and Donald Barrett. Do they still serve beer here in the cabin? See you guys at the bar. Okay. Exactly. Go ahead, Travis.
Oh my God.
Would you rather not?
No, whatever you want, man. It's your show, Slick.
Got to give the drummer some, right? One of those days.
I was kind of a tie. It's like kind of a tie.
Donald Barrett on the drums. Yeah, we're going to do one more instrumental, then we're going to get Maxayne back up here. Then we're going to get Maxayne back up here. Maxayne, you still there? Yeah. Okay. You guys are having fun, right? I need to punch in a measure 42. My solo. Here's a song that was by special requests. we're getting warmed up. Let's bring Maxayne back out here. You guys give Maxayne a big round of applause. That was actually better than the original. Get your questions ready, right?
Don't bring me down. Don't bring me, let me down. Don't let me down. Thank you.
That was a song by a band called the Beatles you might have heard of. I don't know. You've heard of the Beatles, right? Okay. You guys, questions. Let's get some questions going here. I can't hear my... Hey, can I turn myself up in the monitor a little bit? I sound like more like Kermit the Frog than I normally do. Hey guys, you take some mids out of this microphone? Checking 1 2. Checking 1 2. Oh, good. So guys, any questions? Raise your hands, spit them out, put them on a $100 bill and pass them up to the stage.
There's somebody.
Hey, Mitty. So shut up and play your guitar, is that what you're saying? Sorry. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll do that for an encore. For you. For $10. Now, there must be some questions out there, right? About Maxayne? Hey, I know you. Me? Listening to probably more songs than I used to. I used to be a big fusion head when I was a student at school, so I was busy studying and practicing. I listen to new stuff, if there's any good stuff out there. I listen to Madison Cunningham. I think she's great. I still listen to old Jeff Buckley and Beatles, Stevie Wonder, songwriters, James Taylor. But I like Knower, the band Knower. Genevieve Artadi was really great. She was a teacher here. We were friends, and their band I think is awesome. Thundercat type stuff. Who else do I like? Yeah, I didn't today, but thank you. No, how do you come up with new ideas? It's a lot of self-interest. I'm always inspecting myself. I'm always listening. I'm very critical, so I'm always trying to come up with something that's a little bit different. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's kind of the fun of it. Because if you didn't have the bad days, the good days wouldn't feel so good. But I tend to go back and listen to music, like actual songwriters, like a couple days before a gig. That inspires me harmonically, because I have more musical ideas, I think, and then I kind of realize the impact of simplicity. Is
that like a ritual for you, like going to
that with the candles and the incense, yeah, and the burning of Donald Trump in effigy. No, just that's kind of in general. I go days when I don't play guitar. I don't force it. It's kind of like my diet. I used to, worry about what I eat, but now I'll eat a pizza, and the next day my body just kind of naturally wants broccoli, kind of naturally. So it's kind of that way with music. Sometimes I'll listen to Chick Corea and try to figure out what, Alan Holdsworth was doing one day, and then the next day I'll put on something just for the pleasure of, Sarah Bareilles or Elton John or singer-songwriters. And the balance is good, I think, for me, because I've never considered myself a jazz guy, even though I can kind of get over chord changes. I went through a stage of about 6 months at Berkeley where I really tried to play, giant steps, and I was holding my guitar up really high and playing as jazzy as I could. But then I realized I really didn't like that music that much. The music that I really listened to was Joni Mitchell, singer-songwriters that have interesting harmonic stuff. So, I think the older you get, the more you people ask you questions like this, and you end up doing like this reverse engineering, where I actually have to think about it. What do I think about? So I think now it's more a combination of everything, but I don't force anything. I don't sit in the room and go, man, I got to practice for 4 hours today. I just hope inspiration strikes. I'd rather hear something inspired than rehearsed,
So do you know, like, what inspires you? Like, maybe
Yeah, I keep a recorder by my bed at all times, or by me, my phone. I have a real good application, so there's about 500 ideas on there. So if I get an idea, I'll either sing it into the phone, or I'll put it on guitar really quick. And that sometimes turns into something, sometimes not at all. But yeah, thanks for noticing, man. Whenever I leave this earth, it'd be nice to be known as a songwriter as much as a guitar player. And that's what makes me feel good that you asked that question, because it's not all about licks or about technique, And you are from Denmark.
I'm from Denmark, man.
That's right. And that's your dad I went to school with or something like that? Or, yeah, wow. That's how old I am. I have shirts as old as you. But thanks, man, for asking questions. But who knows? I don't know. Sometimes a martini helps. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, you wake up feeling great. This is gonna be a great day, and then it's not there. So you can't, you never know when it's gonna happen. So you can't really. I try not to worry about it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And
Thank you.
Got questions from anybody else in the band for Lady Gaga's drummer or Lady Gaga herself? Is it her?
No.
No. Yeah. Hey. You. Well, I used to do a lot of smooth jazz gigs when I first graduated from MI years ago, and that was kind of an easy thing to get. I was out every weekend with different bands, and then I ended up just hating most of the music I was playing because I hated smooth jazz, and I was bored, and I wasn't a good bus mate because I just hated all the shit, So I started writing my own stuff because I realized I had some ideas, and I figured, man, shit's as good as that. So I just tried it, and the whole process of doing like a CD for the first time is pretty scary, especially back then because you had to have at least like 9 songs on a CD. And I remember putting it all together and asking friends to play for free and mix for free and, do the artwork for free and did a lot of favors and then got it out there. And then that's the biggest challenge is like actually giving it to somebody with, having the courage to be shut down. And I gave it to a guy named Hiram Bullock, who was the first guy I ever gave my CD to. And I was... I didn't hear from him for like 2 weeks, and I was scared to death that he hated it. And I was a big fan of his. He's a New York guitar player, and he wrote me this really long email with about every song what he liked about it. So those little affirmations help. And these guys I just met along the way. Maxayne I knew back in the late '80s and '90s. We used to tour with a guy named Gino Vannelli and Bobby Caldwell together back in the day. And Maxayne, we've been on sessions together and done gigs together, and our paths kept crossing, and we had so much fun together that we ended up just putting this together. We actually have another band called The Cookies with me and Maxayne and Bobby Watson, and it's just a trio. Drummers come and go, and that's how we got a lot of these songs. We picked them out, and we kind of did our own arrangements for them. Matt, I met on a Brenda Russell gig. We were both doing this gig years ago, and I was checking my stuff, and I started playing this Allan Hinds with like a really deep, chromatic, harmonic major scale, and then Matt continued the line. He knew all that because he's a kind of a guitar player, disguised as a keyboard player. I think he's a frustrated guitar player, but he knows a lot of guitar isms. So we got along immediately right then. Travis was a student, and I'm not even sure I knew who he was, or not that he is anybody. No, I'm sorry. But I didn't know his father was Larry Carlton, the famous guitar player. The reason I came to school from Alabama was I won the Larry Carlton Scholarship through Guitar Player magazine 100 years ago. But his dad was a big influence on me when I was a kid growing up, and he used to give me my open counseling, and we used to sit just for like an hour and just jam with loops and come up with cool stuff. And I think I knew he was a great bass player and a great guy before I knew he was his dad. And then I started really sucking up to him. And Donald Barrett, we met my friend Peter Hastings, who was a bass player who went to school here, who created Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain? He was a bass player of the year here, and he went on, he gave up music and got a real job and started writing for Nickelodeon and then created Pinky and the Brain. And he has these big jam sessions at his house, which we're going to go to tomorrow night, I think, aren't we? And I met Donald there with the band. We just kind of got along, and I bothered him on the phone a few times, and we finally got a chance to play, and it just clicked. I've been through a lot of different bands. Having your own music, it's personal, and there's a lot of great players, and sometimes you don't, you want them to kind of appreciate the songs you've written, and I feel like these guys kind of dig the songs somewhat, so it's kind of a good feeling. So I had great players in my band through the years, but sometimes they'd be overplaying, or they wouldn't be listening, or I could just tell they weren't really bringing all the love that they had to offer to my music, so I fired them. No, I didn't. I just thought I'd say that. But yeah, that's how it makes in this town. I think at least back then, I graduated from here in 1986 with Jeff Buckley and the Oliver Wood. There were a lot of great players. Jimmy Herring, a lot of guys were here then. And then we were all just kind of branching out, trying to find out who we were. We were all just getting gigs, doing tours, and playing a Filipino restaurant for $50 here, $50 there. And you make friends, a social network, and it kind of, came back for me, because I had good friends to rely on. These guys, I love them like brothers. Well, except for you. So anyway. Well, I'm glad you noticed that, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't really fun. Of course, I've had better days, but That's just me being critical of myself again. Any other questions? Matt does the TV show stuff, The Voice, and Alanis Morissette. Oh, is that a hand up over there? Hey. For who? So I can hear you. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I just fell into it, man. Seriously. Literally, just fell. I just woke up and just fell over. Like,
this drunk guy fell into it.
No, I just started experimenting with just easier ways to get around the kit and not have to work so hard. Because of the way that I hit the drums, I like to hit the rims with the head a lot. So I find if I angle the drums away from me, I can get that power and not have to, have to work so hard up here. I can get it right here. And then plus, like, when you're on TV, the cameras can all see you, too. So it's like, everything's clear vision. It's not like symbols.
Oh, you're on TV?
I used to hate that when I used to watch, like, Ndugu Chancellor, and he'd be, like, on SNL, and his symbols are right here. And I'm like, who is that playing drums? And then you had to wait till, like, the camera actually got to the side. So it's a combination of a lot of things. And at the end of the day, it just feels good now, So, yeah, to answer your question.
That's okay. If it comes back around, anybody else? Should we play that? Oh, okay.
How much of your parts do you write out, orchestrate, and how much do you come up with at the time that the song is? Because I like what you're orchestrating and your ideas are cool, but I'm just curious.
Well, maybe I can help answer that too, because he kind of plays with us on the record. We recorded a lot of these songs, but that's one reason I choose certain people is that they can experiment, and he brings a lot of life to each song, and every night's different in a jazz way. There might be a little subtlety that's different, a little different feel, different dynamics. That's what makes it like really. I think it still feels kind of like a jazz band in that respect, even though harmonically sometimes we're just playing like E minor and A7. But that's, I think, his knowledge, because all of us have like some training in jazz, and we realize the importance and the impact that dynamics and a little bit of harmonic knowledge can bring to the table.
But also on his new record, The Good Fight, that's out now, shameless plug, we were in the studio for 3 days, and so he would send, Allan would send these ideas, and then we would all listen to them, and we would work through things together.
And then throw them out.
And then throw them out. But then playing with a lot of singers, just learning how to play off the melody, and learning how to set up certain sections or just let certain sections breathe. But I'm really listening a lot to Allan and like how he's constructing, and then I just try to fit in and with Trav, and then obviously
It's pretty amazing how much of it was spontaneous in the studio. A lot of the parts. We didn't do The Good Fight yet, but like just the parts kind of happened. Like you go, what are you going to do here? And he goes, okay, I'm bringing this to the table. I don't like write out everything in detail. I write out chord charts, so it's kind of tempos maybe, and A section, B section, chords and stuff. But as far as the groove goes, that's kind of up to them. That's what they're good at. Are you a drummer? Yeah. We can play.
you got one all the way in the back,
Yep.
all the way.
Talking to me? You talking to me? What kind of amp and speakers? Everybody tries to sound like the Dumble amp. The Dumble amp is the big one that costs $100,000 that only Joe Bonamassa and John Mayer can afford, So there's a lot of clones out there. There's a lot of lesser, or at least a lot less expensive amps that are almost as good, I think. This is one called Red Plate. It's a handmade amp from Phoenix that shut down during COVID, and they just opened back up. They have 5 or 6 lines. This one is called the Black Line. And the reason I chose it, the overdrive section is real. It has several different levels of gain, so I can get all that harmonic stuff out of it without being too compressed. So it's called the Red Plate Black Line. I have a thing with Celestion. I have a thing for Celestions. I have an endorsement with Celestion, so I've been using Celestion speakers for a long time. These are the 90-watt creamback 12-inch speakers. It's one speaker in each cabinet, and they're open back. I like the in the right room, open back speakers, fill up nicely. And don't make me talk about my pedal board. We'll be here for like another hour. But that's pretty much just I use those. At home, I have like a couple old deluxes that I use just for a studio because they're nice, clean Fender amps at low volumes. But the red plates are great, I think. It's cool. Hey. Yeah, that's another thing I think, yeah, probably rhythmically, it's like if I think it's a nanosecond of a rhythmic idea, and then you put it to whatever chord you happen to be playing. Like if I have an idea for, I can play it over, but I could also go. It's the rhythmic idea that that kind of goes over whatever chord I happen to be hearing in my head. But sometimes I'll wake up singing a melody, sure. Like that last one. That one I had stuck in my head, and I had to start finding chords. So it's a combination of both, I guess. I don't know. I've been writing a lot of stuff on acoustic guitar lately, and I have a lot of, and they're like weird Julian Lodge kind of, but not as jazzy, open strings and melodies on top. But probably the melody, then the time feel. I guess it's hard to say because it's always different. But I often to write, I'll put on a groove. I like to just sit in a room with a drummer and just like play and see what we come up with because rhythmically. Different grooves give me ideas like, joyful or happy or sad stuff, for sure. I can put on a slow bossa nova and you end up writing something different than you would if you put on some hip hop groove of some sort. So a little bit of both. I start with a groove and then I kind of find a melody that works and then it's off to the races. If you're a good student, you should, if you have that, so if I want to do I should be able to go, or, that note is the one that's on top, and then I just experiment and throwing stuff against the wall until I find one I like. Like the song we played. That I wrote in open counseling upstairs. This is E minor. It's just silly, and then I just kept the melody going. Same melody. It's just I had chords to choose from, so I said I could have gone. You could go anywhere. So it helps to know a lot of chords. I try to emphasize that with my students to learn, to get the chord chemistry book upstairs in the library and learn all the chords in the middle of Ted Green's book. And the cool thing about that book, it has a lot of theory, but in the middle it just has all these diagrams of really cool chords. And if you don't want to rack your brain trying to learn theory or some kind of harmony stuff, you can just go there and go, oh. Those are cool chords. But yeah, and sometimes I find myself, plagiarizing stuff. I'll go, oh, where have I heard? Oh, it's a Beatles song. I'll stop myself. But that happens, I guess, More questions. This is fun. Hey. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Always, man. I love my time here. So I like any time I get to come back.
My time here is like
it's
like he was in jail.
Really good
My time here.
with a lot of people around here, so it's not strange. I'm not in the building that often, but I'm still connected. Justin Purchase is one of my best friends. Stuart Ziff, Dan Gilbert, Allan Hinds, like all those guys. Tom Blum, J-Ho, all those kids. I know a lot of y'all, and think of myself as one of you always. Because this is, I was one of those people. I came here. Obviously I came from a musical family, but I still had a lot of work to do. I really didn't know what I was doing. So, I feel like I know the journey that so many of y'all are on here of like, man, I love music, but I want to get better. Essentially, I love music, but I don't know what I'm doing. And how am I supposed to make money doing this? And all that? So, yeah, it always feels good to come back. And like home, kind of.
Should we play one more? Play two more? Yeah, one more question? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you can change it just rhythmically a little bit. You can change one note. Because sometimes it's more of it's more of just, like I said before, it's almost like a rhythm thing as much as it is a musical statement melody. So if I have like that could be any choice of notes you want to, but it's that groove and that feeling that you kind of want to get expressed when you write a song. You know, you keep throwing stuff against the wall and hope it sticks. And I know just from, that's where it comes in handy having good friends who are musicians too, because they can bring something else to the table. So I could have we had a few ideas on my new record that were just nothing but written on the back of a napkin that morning, you know. I came in, those guys just kind of went for it, you know. So I get by with a little help from my friends, you know. And the old Beatles song, which is really true. But yeah, what do you do? I mean, there's different ways I used to approach it, you know, in inverted harmony or trying to, if it goes, do it the exact opposite or write it differently. But I don't know. I think you make those changes, you know, different chords, different grooves, one different note, you won't get sued, you know. But yeah.
I'm from Oklahoma. I'm from Tulsa. So I grew up in a red, extreme right-wing state, and the radio didn't have any black radio at all. And we had to like really work hard to hear any black music being broadcast. So it was a lot of country and western, but there were a lot of things I really liked about the music because I like the storytelling of country music as well. I think because it is a derivative of what we would call blues or gospel, comes from my community as well. So I just always, my parents were open musically, and they played all kinds of music, old and new. And so I just sort of grew up being, if it was a good song, a great melody, somebody could really sing, then I don't care what they look like or what neighborhood they're from. I was, one day on a Saturday morning, I got a phone call from Ike Turner, and they said, somebody recommended you to do this, and I was like, what? I couldn't believe it, and here I am, 900 years later, still here. Yeah, it opened a lot of doors for me. They brought me here to California, and I came here with a job, and it's something I wanted to do.
What job was it, Matt?
Was singing, dancing, performing, recording, everything. It all went crazy.
Ike and Tina?
Who was it?
Ike and Tina Turner.
Come on now.
She's an Ikette,
Ikette, man. Come on.
not Dancing at the Aladdin.
Yeah, so
Legendary, man.
that's basically it. But, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to see Dolly Parton on television every Saturday. She was on a show called The Porter Wagner Show.
Oh my God.
So it was like really crazy, but it was
Yeah.
country and western, and she could really sing. I mean, beautiful voice, but she didn't look the same as she looks now, but it was Dolly Parton. You know, it's like
Her
really
breasts are exactly the same. Any more? Yes.
For Travis, so Travis, you're obviously like timekeeper. You're in the pocket. I've seen you guys a couple of times by now. You're so locked in with the drummer, but you're also complementing like all the parts too while you're playing. So my question for you is, do you listen to the drummer or feel the drummer and listen to the chords? It's like you're sort of playing with the chords too while keeping the pocket. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm trying to listen to all of it.
Right.
I'm attempting to, for sure. But I do know that I have to link up with the drummer.
Yes.
And I don't have to think about the harmony as much as like Matt does or something, you know. I'm lucky that I only have to play one note at a time in that aspect. So, I mean, there's definitely, and it really depends, I mean, because so much of that is just chemistry with people and stuff. I mean, you know, time is one thing, but there's also just like the chemistry of do we agree on what 90 beats per minute is. I mean,
Right.
that's one of those things. If I could play the same song with, I'm sure you guys see it in here every time you sit down in class, and you're like, man, we put on a click. Everybody starts with the same 1, 2, 3, 4, but that fifth beat, sometimes some people feel it a little faster and some people feel it a little slower. And with some people, I'm going to naturally link up better, and some people I might have to work a little harder. But I'm always trying to be aware of that fluctuation and to just give to like who I'm playing with and try and find the center of everybody's time. You know, I guess I'm without thinking about it that deeply. I'm more just listening and trying to lock up with everybody, but definitely there's a conscious effort of like being the bridge between a lot of people's time fields, kind of. And if I can help, okay, cool. He feels it a little faster. We usually play it slower or something. Cool. At the end of the day, I still got to lock with whatever's going on. You know?
For example, like these songs, beautiful song by Allan, it's not easy song. It's just like it's not regular chords. It's like not normal chords. There's so much to it, but you're still playing with it. I mean,
Well, that also. I mean, I'll just say this because I've had other bass players who played, and I'd get home and go, why didn't that really work? And I'd listen to a tape and I'd realize a lot of times it was either the time feel or the notes they played in between. They played the right notes for the chord, but it was like the little fills they did in between that was like, that's not happening. That's one thing I think Travis has like innately without even thinking about it. He has a good ear, so he knows not to go, he kind of knows automatically not to do that. He doesn't have to know his theory, but and that's just a real blatant example. But I mean, a lot of the little things in between that you would kind of go, oh, that was cool, ghost note from a half step below. Who would have thought of that? That's why he's good.
Well, and also, I mean, I can say this gig isn't the best one for me to say that on always, but I do try and think of space a lot more than notes too. Like, I love if we're playing live, I can take big licks and okay, there's a big moment. Nobody's gonna play here. I'll take one. Screw it. But a lot of times, like in my regular life, that's a perfect moment for me to just let a note sit there and be long and big. Like, because a lot of that stuff I feel like is space. Like that a lot of people you want to play to show people that you're good at playing, but a lot of times no one gives a shit that I'm good at the bass. They just want it to feel good. Right. Like at the end of the day, dude, I don't care about all that stuff you can do. We're just trying to make music.
Yeah.
So it comes from just, I guess, trying to think about like I said, I get egregious up here too, but there's always a thought about, like, first and foremost, that it's not really about me, and that sometimes the best thing I can do is get out of someone else's way. Right. And leave a spot for someone else to
It's sometimes, is it maybe a maturity thing of somewhat, is that when you feel the power of an ensemble that's tight, man, nothing feels, it's like church, it's like church as opposed to just having a good moment playing a solo, which isn't, I like that too. When I was a kid, I wanted to be, Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck. I wanted to be I didn't think until I got my first recording session, but all they wanted was like, one note in time. And I went, oh, I guess I don't need the harmonic major scale now, but but the power of an ensemble is really, it's really addictive, and when it sounds good. And, even if it rushes a little bit, I mean, you listen to a tape and something like maybe sped up or whatever, it doesn't matter as long as the whole band is going. As long as it's not really bad and they're all kind of going together, it turns into this like big machine that's just like, man, if you listen to some of the early records that were recorded back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, before they had clicks, there's a lot of movement for sure. But it doesn't matter because it just feels so good. The band, they work with each other, And they get excited at the same times. And that's all good too, Any last questions, and we'll play a couple more? You guys good? You having fun? Say yes. We're having fun. Was that a question, or was that a hand raised back there? No, okay. Oh, and she's saying, cut it, you guys are over. Do we have time for two more or one more? Want to do one? Coffee Doctor, we have just one more? Okay, almost. Okay. Maxayne Lewis, you guys. You're welcome to sit in with the band.
Serenade.
Yeah, just like sit in pose.
Come on now, serenade. Maxayne Lewis, y'all. Maxayne.
Thank you, guys. I guess we got to go now. Matt Rohde, Travis Carlton, Donald Barrett, me. See you guys tomorrow? That's weird. And Maxayne Lewis. Thanks, guys.